Celestial Legend's out now, and here he comes. Celestial Legend moved up, took the lead in the Hobartville Stakes, and he's starting to draw away. It's been a long time between drinks for Les Bridge, but that's his second Hobartville.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. I'm in Melbourne, DK's country, Nico's country. It's good to be back.
Good to be down here, Scoot. Put on the weather for you too, hey?
Right, shorts, t-shirt. First time I reckon in 10 years I haven't needed a jumper in Melbourne, so I didn't even pack one, shorts and tee. So it's beautiful business. And yeah, we had the 6-hour stream. I think we had 30 minutes in break, so it's a bit of an epic, but the day sort of flowed pretty easily, I thought, Nico. It seems like we did it on the steal, I would have thought. The results were a bit skew-whiff, but the day moved along pretty good.
Yeah, we kept it rolling, but yeah, just a few costly placings probably determined us not getting a result there for the punters, but we can't ride them. We can only tip them. I think that was probably the scenario there. We cooked a few average steers, so that's just racing, isn't it, DK?
Yeah, well, that's right. And sometimes when you've been in those lesser jurisdictions, I know there was some good jocks there, but there's also the local jocks, and you can't have D Lane and C Williams and all the good ones on all the time, so it can happen.
Yeah, we had that bet in the last. We had a $16 chance that we back to win 20,000. It was a bit flat, but Hill Rip ran second. That was to win $9,018. We had First Accused to win $9,500. He was held up, and then you had Jenny Jerome ran second, held up again, and that was to win $9,000 there. And then we launched on Soul Sun in Adelaide, heavily backed to start at even money. And then Fiasco Test went like a busted as well, and that was one of our other big plays for the day. And I think she was $6 into about $3.90 or $4 as well.
Good. She was the right play in that race, but she just busted on the day, or there's something wrong with her. But you can't control that.
Yeah, it wasn't all doom and gloom. You're on fire early. Attaway $4.50, Van Scotia $2.25, Sadu was a good saver $4.50, and then Exalted Kate got the money over in Gawler, and then Walt chimed in with Gold Revolver. And Walt, you're in the dungeon. You're not round at my place. You haven't got the sausage dog nipping at your heels. How are you, mate?
Mate, I actually haven't moved. I've sat here for 6 hours yesterday. Beck went and bought some light to light up the pot plant in the background. I don't know what that does for anyone, but I just sat here all dressed up with nowhere to go, and you never even got me to say hello to my man Tedeschi. I just sat here bored, waiting for a call up, and I was left on the bench all day.
You look more pacey now that you've painted the dungeon in there, nice and black, but definitely haven't spent much time in the sun, have you?
There's not much sun comes through here. You know, we've blacked everything out. I'm going full bat. I'm going full bat. I've doubled down.
You had a decent day yesterday. I spoke to Tristan after it. Punters across the grounds, they lost. So not just our stream, but nationwide, it sounded like a bit of a rough day for punters. But I see Joe Pride was sort of blowing up at the track. It was pretty on pace there for a good amount of the time at Rose Hill.
Yeah, I saw some blow-ups to the opposite. So Sandown off fence and Rose Hill fence on. I don't know what they expect, like 6-metre rail there. It was a little bit dubious at the start of the day because they'd obviously poured some water onto it. But, yeah, looking at the sort of section as they went those first few races, they've gone, super fast. And first leader wins, Yarrawonga wins. They went fast in the first 4 races. Then for really weird, they've gone like 12 below in 6 and 5 below in race 5 and 6, which is super strange when you have such an established pattern. And then obviously Nash's head's blown off in the last, so it was a weird day. But well, I don't even understand why are they racing at Rose Hill and putting the rail out that far. You've got major meetings coming up there. Why is there a midweek meeting there? I think that was Joe's main point.
It was interesting, yeah. I don't know if John O'Shea would have let Nash leave the course in sort of one piece with that Kokoro. Certainly carved up our bet, sold to Rome. So it's going to be a pretty good show, and we're on the quick backup, but we've got through some of the form, which is good stuff. And looking at sort of last week, DK missed the show. It was at Taylor Swift.
Yeah, Taylor Swift was hard to beat. It's good. Big show there.
Epic. It goes
Epic.
3.5 hours.
Yeah, well, that was the only problem for someone like me, but all the Swifties didn't mind. They just screamed every song and every word. But, mate, I went to Ed Sheeran early in the year, and that was 106,000 there, but the vibe at Taylor Swift, everyone was just crazy the whole time. It was like Ed Sheeran on roids. It was fantastic. So Avery did all right. Took her there on when was that, Sunday night, and she backed up into Pink on for last Friday night. So not bad for a 7-year-old.
She's going all right.
Hey.
I might have to snip you later, DK.
No. X's, mate, X's. As I just said to you, mate, Mrs. So, when you sort of, well, you probably don't know yet, Nico, but at some stage your missus will drive you completely mad, and you'll say, geez, I wish he'd piss off to Antarctica or something like that. Well, mine is. My missus is going to Antarctica on Tuesday. High five.
Geez, you must be going.
Yes, I know. Exes, a few exes there, mate. I had the tin lids for 3 weeks on me, Pat. But so the missus heading off there for a cruise and whatnot. But exes are big with as you know, the kids, mate. No snipping.
Wow. Well, so what do you do when you get to Antarctica? You can't really do you get out and have a bit of a trot or just look at ice from the boat?
I think you just look at ice from the boat and then head back to the bar. That's what I'd be doing. I don't know about the missus, but go out and see a glacier and then back to the bar and karaoke.
I might just open the fridge and have a look at some ice cubes and get the same experience for $0. But there's a different angle. Antarctica must be flying. We'll definitely be snipping you after the show. Today's show is going to be absolute beauty. Donnie last week had an absolute cracking bet. Street Chase 550 into 350. It was straitjacket stuff. Jimmy Byrne absolutely destroyed it. And if anyone followed that bet, you would have to have a stiff drink after that. Walt, you sort of saved the day a little bit with Celestial Legend and Straight Charge. Interesting turnaround there with Celestial Legend. Outside horses seem to do the trick for him, and Les has obviously just given it a bit of a barrier trial, but you're all over it, and it jumped out of the ground. It's a big card at Randwick. It's great racing. Flemington looks a bit lackluster outside the Guineas, I would have thought. It can happen in some of these autumn schedules, but it's a bit of a deflated. Oh yeah, we've sort of lost the chubby after such a good day of racing last Saturday at Caulfield. Sharippa was a massive run, but Q-Man was a little bit of a trumpet from the yard from you, Nico. You're all over the SA form.
Yeah,
how good's SA?
Yeah, SA's best now. I just thought he looked outstanding in the yard, so thought he'd probably run right up to his best. I didn't know if that was good enough to win, but I was happy enough to find out the price, and probably not too many Oakley plates where first and second fight it out in the finish, but might have just had a bit of luck on our side there. But that's the game, isn't it? You get the luck on Saturday and no luck on Wednesday. So, it just swings and roundabouts, doesn't it? That's how it rolls. So Saturday was our day.
You get back on paces too always helps you, doesn't it, around Caulfield?
Yeah.
It's always got something in your favour there, as it turned out again there on Saturday.
Harry Coffey flying too.
Good on him,
Launceston Cup yesterday.
Acceleration. Picks up the ride on Benedetta.
Yeah,
good on him,
Confidence, you go a long way with confidence. Rise at Dawn was too strong at Moonee Valley, so hopefully everyone kicked their weekend off successfully there. I won't really preview any special or anything, but I've just added a couple of extra races at Sydney and Melbourne to the show. Last week, the TopSport Steamers, Mr. Brightside, 20,000 at the $1.50 was easy watching, especially when Celine just set it up perfectly with Buffalo River. Just played in the hands of Mr. Brightside, and he was far too classy. Gatsby was another one of the Steamers. It was a 30-1 pop, I think, in the Saturday race, but it was a steamer on the Friday night. It was, what was it, Walt? 2.30 into about $1.60 or something at Canterbury.
280 to 160, and then the world ended 5 minutes out, but they got their money.
Yeah, and the other bet for the Steamers was Lady of Camelot, but John Allen made sure it didn't win, and wow, what a big run it was anyway, just on the speed. It was it's probably something licked, and that said, you can't really take much away from the winner.
It was a big run, the winner, especially with the track playing the way it was.
Yeah,
she went against the pattern.
The line.
Yeah, so it wasn't on pace time. But geez, I watching the overhead shot at the start. Bloody hell! Didn't it Shanghai the gates at spy wire? I know.
Shanghai.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was he supposed to do? He jumped that far in front of the field. He just had to lead.
Yeah,
couldn't take it back from there.
Couldn't grab hold of a 2-year-old going that fast. So. Yeah, but unfortunately brought out Lady of Camelot undone, but it's a good horse, isn't it?
So fascinated to see how that form will line up for the rest of the Autumn Carnival. TopSport obviously support us with the stream yesterday, and they've got the Group 1 Best of the Best offer up to 5,000. So if you want to have a decent swing in any of Group 1s, make sure you head to TopSport. And the best thing is they're Australian-owned and operated. And that was one thing I did catch, and a bit of a tip. The Ego story with Michael Gudinski, the music promoter. I thought it was fascinating, and the best thing about Michael Gudinski was he was so bullish about promoting Australian music and Australian owned, and I think that's something that I guess we're doing with our affiliation with TopSport. But God, Australians just need to support Australians, and it was just so inspiring to watch his story and see how well he championed, and I guess the good results that he got out of those Australian artists. And he just lifted the music industry up with his own two hands. It was amazing.
With the passion, you would have seen the passion, mate. It's unreal.
Never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
So we do give a little bit of a food tip here or a show, but I'm not sure where you can get it because I watched it on the Qantas Entertainment. But make sure you go and watch the Michael Gudinski ego story.
It was in the cinemas, so I don't know where it is now.
Yeah.
I'll find out.
You get a good pump out of that. But make sure you support TopSport because they're Australian owned and operated, and they're doing a great job up at the Gold Coast. Puntingform.com.au is in a similar frame there. And I guess, as I say every week, I can pop in a Gawler, Flemington, all over the place. And they've been great supporters of the show too. So make sure you check out puntingform.com.au and get behind them also. Nico, I touched upon it earlier. Flemington on Saturday. I've given you one little surprise race, but I think it's definitely worthy of conversation, and that's race 7. We're going to kick off the Inglis Sprint over 1,200 metres at Flemington, and this race is really growing in stature. It has over the last couple of seasons. I think, Benedetto won it last year, and it just seems to be going from strength to strength. So Cabalus is the favourite here at $3.60, drawing the outside gate up the straight. And Estrella was a big winner last time, and Walt was all over this horse, $3.80. Mumbai Muse was a touch disappointing, but I think it's got the green light off that little mishap last start. $8. Rayokoki is $11. Ouroboros is $11, and then you got Brazen Style, $16. Lazaga was chasing home Estrella last time at $19. And then you can get big prices the rest of the field there. But let's have a couple of look at a couple of the replays. Here's the first one, Walt. You've got Cabalus just about to peel out here. You got M-Cap and Celestial Legend. They've obviously run super. The form's been franked there, and you can see Timmy sort of flapping about on Macarena on the outside. What do you think of this win, Walt?
Yeah, it's a weird one. Its first win, you weren't really sure how the form would hold up, and it's kind of held up. And then this race is similar. It was in the 3 wide line, but they absolutely walked. It's a horse that sort of allegedly got a little bit of issue breathing wise, so that would have absolutely helped to clear air, going out really slow, being able to use its turn of foot to take control of the race. So it's hard. Like your Celestial Legends obviously come out and bolted in, but I think that's absolute ideal way for the race to be run for Cabalus. So I think this is a very different sort of task is what I'm saying. It's 2 wins have been really impressive, but has everything possible gone its way both times? I'd say probably yes.
Yep. Yeah, to be the Inglis story of the year, wouldn't it? So horse sold for $1 million, rebought for $300, and now it's having a crack at $1 million race after putting 2 wins together.
Yeah, and it was weird because no one could really work out what Waller was doing with the horse. He sort of felt like he just wasn't a big wrap on it, was running it into the ground a bit. It goes on to Inglis, and then the big number that Bjorn was, and Derby were happy to pay and, put their balls on the line a bit. And, the quick turnaround, only 115 days sort of break between when Waller had it to now, and then go bang, bang. And, he's paid himself off. He's still got his nuts. It could end up one of the great stories of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating. And Josh Parr, I see, goes down for the ride, and he's got the synthetic hoof filler for the first time. So you have to figure out how thick the nail polish is there for us, Walt. If
you check that one. No, it's nothing, just superficial.
All right, beautiful. The other replay we're going to have a quick look at is Estrella, and here she is trucking into the race in the yellow, and Lazago's sort of on her back, but just puts an absolute hole in him. Nico?
Yeah, you don't see many more impressive wins than this. Like, just travelled into the race. I know a few of the other market elects probably didn't run up to the expectation there, but she just absolutely murdered them. I don't know what you thought of the win, DK, but it was just huge. Outstanding.
What about the sweating up there, Nico? Was she parade, or that happened when she went on the track? Or
yeah, she's a poor parader.
She's a poor parader.
I would have thought she could be a horse that could potentially improve throughout her racing career once she does start to parade a bit better and not use as much energy pre-race, because she's quite a high-energy filly. So with time, she might get better. Because
I think from memory, Jelko steamed that on the totes, didn't he? And it didn't. So the paddock parade didn't turn them off. They've got a pattern how they parade. You saw one the other day play up, didn't parade well, goes from, what was the thing at Bendigo, went from $5 to $15, happy to pot them out of the parade, but they don't pot it. They were happy to still steam into it regardless of the way paraded, which is a good sign for its talent.
I think the early market, early in the week there was $6 v $3. Now they're closer to, I think it was $3.20 and $3.80 there with TopSport. I think that's probably right off the figure that Estrella put down last start. Like, it was a proper figure. And she's probably going to find a similar run race where, a lot of those horses, they're trying to do their best. They're going to go quick. The Inglis Sprint last year was quite a fast run race. So if she cops a similar race shape to what she did last start, which you think she would, that's probably going to be suited to her, as Caballos is probably going to have to go in a much faster race than what he saw the other day. And yeah, it was a bit of a barrier trial for a few of the other runners. So, no, great race. You probably only think there's 2 chances. Maybe Rokoki. There's a few others. Robrick that looks okay, but you'd be surprised if any of them are winning.
I was just saying, quickly, the other thing is, if you want to blow, one of the best who's riders down the straight at the moment is B Shin. Just nails it down the straight, Can be a tricky track. Don't know what J Parr's record's like down the straight, but
pretty good too.
Is it? Yeah, B Shin nails it.
And Australia's already had a look down the straight as well. Thoughts, Walt? Which way are you going to side here?
$6 Estrella was just ridiculous. Like, that was an automatic bet for sure. I'd probably have it favourite over Caballos just because of that. I think it will be in a fast run race and it'll suit it better. But there's one little, it's not a wild card. It is a wild card down the bottom, and it's completely not suited. 68 rater against 90 raters. But this horse, Midnight Opal, that Doyle's got, it's just interesting. He's taken it down there, and it's sort of got country form, but it's an interesting horse, I think, can pop up. I don't know what Johnny Allen's like down the straight. I hope he goes a bit slower than he does around a bend. But Estrella for me. But and actually, I think I agree with Nico. I think she's got huge upside. It's funny that they ran into each other at start too, and Caballos was like 10-15 to 1, gave it a start and beat it there. I think it's one of the better races on the Saturday card. I'm looking forward to the clash.
I think it is. It's close to sealing the show from the Group 1 Australian Guineas. So fascinating there. And I'd probably, lean Estrella's way over Caballos myself if having a bet in the race. Race 8 is the feature there. It's the Group 1 Australian Guineas. And as I said, TopSport got best of the best to win 5,000. So if you like one here, you can swing hard and don't have to fish out the price. So gosh, I do miss Top Flock and Best of the Best on many, many races. It's definitely putting a dent in some of the turnover around the traps. Riff Rocket, $2.30 favourite here. God, he looks short to my eye. King Colorado, $6.50. V8, $7. Southport Tycoon, $11. Snow Patrol, $12. Otago, $19. Zipaway, $21. Verdad, $21. Quintessa, $21. And then you're getting out to the Pendragon, and Hey Fat Cat goes around, $26. And then Apulia, who was a monster in the Derby, he's $34. And first up, Cat Ferrara, and then Sunsets. And that sort of rounds out the main chances there. But the replay we're going to have a look at here is the CS Hayes Stakes. Thoughts here, Nico?
There's a dominant first up win from Riff Rocket. He's just too good for him here. Maybe had the race run to suit. There was a bit of a slowdown, and I think his turn of foot really just was probably helped by that slowdown, but it was a dominant win. It'd be hard to see King Colorado turning the tables, given he had a run on him last start. And he's just so soft late. So Williams really doesn't ask for an effort this last 50. He's just very kind to him. I can't go past him, to be honest. I know $2.30 is quite short. You might get better on the day, but it's just been the pattern with that horse. Like, he won the Derby off pure ability. I don't know if he stayed 2,500 metres, but he beat them there. His win at 1,800 metres at Flemington, the UCI, was dominant, or the superimpose, and then that win there at Flemington as well. He could just be a complete Flemington horse, going to get a genuine tempo here, you would have thought. I don't think he'll be flat out of that run. It didn't seem like a huge exertion first up, and given how soft he was late, I thought he'd take some improvement from the yard. And he just might actually be the best 3-year-old. So I'm happy enough to side with him. I'd want to see a little bit better price than $2.30, and you might get it. $2.60 or $2.70 would probably be a comfy price for me. But yeah, I found him very hard to go past. I don't know if you've had any thoughts on the race, DK, but that was my view.
It was more a price thing. So, it's hard to ignore, but he had everything. Everything went perfect there for him, I thought. He loves the rail. Yeah, loves the rail of Flemington. So the day in the superimpose, so what he said, 3 back the rail, dashes through and wins. So he sat 3 back or something back the rail there the other day. What's he going to? It's a similar rinse repeat. Got a beautiful clear at the right time, presented at the right time. It was a soft win for a horse first up. You see him back well, but it all panned out well. He's got barrier 9 there on Saturday, and he's never drawn outside 5 in all his career. He's always had grouse draws. He's drawn the first little awkward draw for himself, so you'd want a sort of better price. And there's not a hell of a lot. What did he beat King Colorado then, by a length or something? So it's not a Verdad was getting held up in behind. I thought, I wish it was 1,800 or something, a little bit further than a mile, because Zipaway come right into it there. I think he just might outsprint him at the 1,600, but he was motoring after the line there at Caulfield, and he's got that grouse WA form with Zaki and all the the good races over there. So maybe he might be the 3-year-old in the Australian Cup. They think he's going to run a good on Saturday. So he's one that interests me. But
yeah, could see him improving for sure. I think a big tick with Riff Rocket as well was that race wasn't set weights. It was under the sort of different weight scale, but Saturday is set weights. So he meets a lot of those horses better at the weights for beating them in the CSAs, which is a big tick for him as well.
Interesting 2 points with King Colorado. Didn't improve as much first to second up. So can he improve again? And obviously, Kieran's throwing the kitchen sink. He's got the blinkers on. He's a bit of a gear change. Maybe out of desperation, you think, with King Colorado?
Or held him off for the grand final, which you like.
Because that was my worry.
For grand final, yeah.
Because after the first, I was pretty bullish on him last start, and then I think when your notes came through, there wasn't a huge amount of improvement. I thought, oh God, this is not grand final day here, and I sort of got a little bit nervous.
Yeah, I thought he looked great in the yard, but he probably didn't really improve that much. I think that's probably just how he was first up. So he's come back in great order, and I backed him. I thought $4 was a good price, and then going past the line, I was just like, best horse wins. Like that's just the summary of the race, wasn't it? So I think I'm just treating it the same on Saturday. Like he does have a few issues, but I think he's the best horse. So yeah, I think he's just better than him. That's probably my bottom line.
I was surprised maybe Otago. I thought they might try and put winkers on him. I know he's still pretty immature and he can throw his head around a bit. I thought he might be the value at $19, and I'd sort of echo DK's thoughts. I thought Zip Away was hitting the line nicely.
What price is Zip Away?
21.
Like 20, yeah, big odds. Big odds. I just wish it was ideally a bit further. But listening to Nev Parnham just on the radio coming in here, geez, apparently the horses thrived. Like they got off the plane or something on the Tuesday, ran on the Saturday. Now he's had 3 weeks here. They said he worked the joint down the other morning, so stack of improvement there, second up. Oh, I think he'll run well.
He looked really good in the yard in the autumn stakes, like really rich coat, like just healthy, really healthy. That's for a horse that's travelled and had a big summer.
I like that different form coming from over there, and he's Zaki and that sort of stuff. So Dom to shoot. So anyway.
Couple for Scooty Squatty numbers.
Scooty Squatty, there we go.
A little bit out wide, see if we can get a bit of a pop. Walt, anything around the Melbourne Colts there, or not much interest?
What's wrong with V8's weight for age form? Like it's coming out of a fast run first up where it won, and the other day, they've gone 10 above, and he's been beaten 1.3 by Mr. Brightside. Draws perfect. Damien Lane. Am I missing something? I know he's a mile probably.
I reckon he's either one of yours or he isn't. Like he's just there. He's just not one of mine. But I totally agree, Walt. He's going to get all favours in the mix. I heard Calvin say, what they say this morning? What's that $10 million race? I'd love to see that, and that'd be right. Oh no,
the Golden Eagle.
Golden Eagle. Yeah, he's a great horse for Golden Eagle. But yeah, it's hard to see him not running well on Saturday.
I just couldn't get that much between them, right? $758 and $240 just didn't quite make sense. If you sort of line him up with Militarize, and he's $240 in a Randwick Guineas, and Celestial Legend's a bit like the Riff Rocket to me there, and he's sort of $5. So it seems like the weight for age form's not being as respected in this race as it is in Sydney. So yeah, I found the same two roughies as you guys. Thought Zip Away was a big price, and even Verdad, I can't understand how it's sort of 20-1 plus as opposed to 240. I couldn't get that bigger gap between them either.
Well, there's two schools of thought. You're going to go the skinny quaddie, or are you going to go the Scooty?
Well, I think my thought is that they're all B grade. Like the Guinea seems B grade. You can tie them in King Colorado and V8 through that form, and Riff Rocket could be A grade. So that's probably where I sit on the race.
Yeah, it's just the 1600. I sort of got V8 personally stamped as a 1400 metre horse, and 16 might be out of limit, and maybe the 1500 Golden Eagle. Fascinating. Anyway, cracking race, and a couple of different angles to go. Either way, you can go short or you can go real wide if you're taking a big quaddie there. It'd be good to see the quaddie sort of get a bit of a pump up. I'm surprised out of, they're looking for turnover and different ideas, but the quaddie just seems to be a bit lost. Used to be all the talk, the superfectors, used to be a big deal when I was younger.
We used to be able to get a big result. That's why. It's just, I suppose now people like, the syndicates sort of cannibalise it a bit because they can't get on a lot of the other stuff, so they cannibalise that a lot. They really pour their money into that.
Flemington race 10 is the final leg of the quaddie. It's the Schweppes Plate over 1400 metres. He's our Bonneville's the favourite here, $4.60. So Risque at $5, Frigid $6.50, Aaron Bay $7, Lounge Bar Ruby $7.50, Sandy Prince $7.50, and then Thunder Point $14. Royal Mile might be, is that a stable change there? Bright Oak and Matt Jenkins, $17, and you can get much better the rest for horses like Bell's Plessy and Unlimited Bee Hunter and those sort of horses. The repo we're going to have a look at here, Nico, is he's our Bonneville in the blue.
It's a shocking undercard at Flemington. I didn't really find much, but I thought this was a race I wanted to follow. Jenny Lala and Poland really put the foot down from a long way out, and it was hard to get back and make ground on the circle races on this day. And he's our Bonneval in the Seymour Bloodstock Holes. Really hit the line well. Belair runs tonight at Pakenham, which will get a guide there. I have a big opinion of Punch Lane. I just think he was in the wrong spot there in a fast run race. Just had to cut up the field. His 2 runs back this campaign, he's our Bonneval, have been quite good. He was good first up against So Risque, and then he's too far back there to really make an impact, but he was hitting the line well. He's always been a horse with a little bit of talent. Definitely question his application at times, but he's at a price where I'm happy enough to find out that $4.55 range where he might just get the right run here. I think Luke Curry's really sparked up the horse. He seems to really click with him. He's running his last 2 starts, and looking through his data, they're nearly 2 of his best career performances. So I think that's a hot race, and he drops back to taking on So Risque again here, who had the pattern in favour when he beat him 2 starts ago. And then outside of that, like it's a dead set Wednesday race. So on a tricky day, I was happy enough to have maybe something on him, but not super confident. Like I said, the undercard's just terrible. So if you're looking away from the English Sprint and the Australian Guineas, like there's just so many races like this one that's just like it's very.
So he's dual accepted as well, isn't he? He's dual accepted in Adelaide, isn't he?
Oh,
He's our Bonneval,
well, they should be running in Melbourne.
Yeah, he's got a chance, but I thought as good a run in that race was Aaron Bay. He was back and wide with him. He covered more ground than him. Was only first up. He's a Bonneval was second up. He draws to stalk the leaders. I thought he was the. I thought you could line him up with He's Our Bonneval, and there's one $4 and one's $8 or $7. So
it was a big run there too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
But he's the same as He's Our Bonneval. He's a bit of a myth. It's a bit of a mythical race.
Like him, Gate 5. I mean, Jimmy this track and trip. Jimmy, he just got nutted in that Silver Bowl final by Jimmy the Bear, and he's got some decent Flemington form. But some of his best runs are when he stalks the speed. So I thought he was back and wide the other day. As you said, was on par to make ground. So Aaron Bay for me there.
Yeah, I'd concur with that. I thought Aaron Bay was a good run, and Royal Mile's probably the other horse. I'd just maybe go dig a bit deeper. He could be an improver from a different yard there. All right, Nico's
There's a smelly horse in there. Hang on. There's a smelly horse. Ben Smith, he's gone. It's not much good. 1,200, 1,250 mile. Then it's 35 days between runs going into this race. He's trialled it twice mid-prep after giving it 3 runs. Back to 1,400 suits this horse. And if you can run on its 40s, if it beats you in the last leg of the quarter, you'd throw up. So it's very smelly. Doesn't take horses down there often. They can run through brick walls, throw walls in your quarties.
There was a horse that he had Cup Week that went absolutely enormous. Then it was nearly Bet of the Year, and it fell in back up at Kembla or Newcastle, a mare. Remember
Same colours. There's a few of them. But I know the horse you're talking about. He's got 3 or 4. But yeah,
we backed it for the syndicate, and it looked a great bet. And I can't remember the jockey on it, but provincial jockey absolutely slaughtered
like West of Dalby or something like that.
It was something like that. It was a mare though, but had a big run behind a tissue or something like that. So yeah, he can definitely place his horses trickily, and yeah, you can't let him under your guard. So he might come out and run a belter here, and then who knows where it'll lob back up. Could go back up to bloody Gosford or Kembla or Goulburn or something, and run round and bolt in at say like $1.80 or $4. He's really good spot there. Well, a really interesting trainer to find.
I've never heard of him. I've never heard of him. Who is he? What's his go?
He's the one who had that thing. What was the horse that Josh used to ride for him, and then he got done for. He's just come back off 2 years.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yep.
Right out.
Penny Smith, one to watch. Nico, Mounting Yard Mail. So you'll be out there braving the elements at Flemington's into their gourmet selection of food, or pack your own lunch again, Nico. But you'll be one of maybe, 5,000 there for Group 1 Guineas Day?
Yeah, if they're lucky.
They'll be lucky to get a crowd off the back of Lightning Stakes.
Well, apparently they were pumping up the Lightning Stakes Day crowd, and there was dead set no one there. So I don't know if that was a bit of fake news, but I was in the public areas. Maybe the members was booming, but I don't know. All the reports I heard from a few mates that were in there as well that it was pretty dead. So I don't. Maybe that's a bit of fake news there with their crowd numbers, because there was no one there. We
went out for dinner with a couple of racing people last night, and they thought the members around the Blue Diamond Day was actually pretty quiet, and all the crowd was all the free ticket holders out in the public.
With the basketball.
Yeah, so that's there's some funny rumblings at the moment with the VRC, and
it was quite a good day out actually at Caulfield on Saturday. The Blue Diamond, like it had a good feel, maybe because people got there for free and you're not paying $500 to go to the races like you usually are in those situations if you got a family or whatever. But no, I thought they did a good job, and they showed off the new horse stalls and the new mounting yard, which I think will be in action for the next meeting they got there for the All-Star Mile. So it's looking all right, Caulfield. They probably did the right play there for the.
That's their game. I think Caulfield specifically try to give value to their members, not rob them and stuff like that. Where the VRC comes from the other. You want to come here, you can pay. So anyway.
Definitely the more progressive of the two. So it'll be interesting to see how those sort of spaces sort of evolve over the next sort of 12 or 18 months, because the pressure's on. And that was also the Jungle Drums are beating, and Jonathan Munns was unsuccessful trying to topple the five.
I think he was more trying to put a rocket up him, wasn't he? I think it was very. He was 100 to 1 and drifting and getting the thing across the line, but he was there himself to put a rocket right up him, I think. So, I think he's just trying to get some change going and
get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
All right, Randwick on Saturday, Waltz. We're going to steam into race 2. Interesting play here. You got the James Squire benchmark 88 over 1,200 metres, and our Kobe Sun is the favourite, $1.95. Moravia $3.80. Tashi $6.50. Tintuki going super at $8, and then you got Periel $8.50. Union Army $13, and then Aprilla at $41. The horse you like here is Periel, and this is sort of red alert. You don't often find Blue Jackets. You don't often find Zach Lloyd, and it's a horse that's $8.50 outside the market, but here's a nice trial.
Yeah, so I do love I Pete James Cummings is when he gives him the mid-prep trial. I love the clean-out run. You boys will know whether that run was as good as I thought it was or not. Last start at Moonee Valley, it looked like it was pretty much carved, and it was a fast run the whole way race. Sort of was the one horse that was made to sort of make a long wide run and did a good job there. I thought, the trip and that run, the little freshen up in between. But, like the horse has got an incredible record at this distance, sort of 10 starts, 2 wins, 8 placings. And I think it looks more genuine. They've worked out it's not a 1,400 metre horse. The run first up 1,200, which is as far as he wants, was rock solid, then went to Moonee Valley. I sort of priced the race up. There is rain potential. So, it's race day morning, sort of 10 to 20 mils potential. So if it fell, our Kobe Sun looks like he's just an absolute bone dry tracker. And I sort of marked him pretty close to the market, sort of $3.50, $4. And then when the markets came out, this thing's $9. It looks like there's a scratching. So there goes the each way. It just looked like the each way for your life at $8.59, that's a big shame, because that looked an absolutely incredible bet, especially with, so I don't really like finding Zach at the moment. 3, he's just going to be, 4th, 5th and get his chance. I can't fathom how he's $9 and a horse like Tashi 6, Tintuki 9. It just seems to me a better horse. And Moravia even was the one horse that was really playing in that 3-year-old race first up. I think 1,200 is far enough for him, but still, he's got to come up off that. I think he'll drift, and this horse has to firm, surely.
Periel. Beautiful. Yeah, just looking at the forecast there, it looks like maybe 7 mil hits, and it's going to hit right in the middle of the race day. So it's going to hit at about midday if the forecast is right. So a couple of dry days. So I'll be interested to see how that track sort of holds up and what becomes of that forecast rain. All right, so $8.50 Periel's a nice way to start early in the card in race 2 for Walt.
He's become a bit more of a horse to trust recently. Like early days, he turned it up in a few races, and I think he's probably got a bit of a reputation that he's a cap, but he's probably his last 4 or 5 runs, he's been a real line finder and won impressively at Moonee Valley. So I think, like Walt said, he's probably become a bit more consistent and a bit tougher. They probably toughened him up a little bit racing him so much early days.
Yeah, he's bumped into some smart horses on the way up though, Vienna Princess and Casablanca and those sort of types. All right, let's have a look at a couple of the shiny ones, Walt. I'm not sure how you've found them or how you've circled these races, but here we are, Randwick race 4. Number 1 is Stormboy, $1.26. Prost is $6.50. Parker, $11. Odinson, $17. Davana, $17. President, $26. And Serron's $41. Then have a look at the last start replay of Hippo steering the mighty Stormboy to victory. Quite soft here. Johnny Allen saw Spywire as sort of doing the chasing. And, can't really add much more to the hype train with Stormboy. He's just a beast of an animal. He looks like the horse he reminds me of something like Piero, and I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to win the Triple Crown, but What do you think about the $1.26 on Saturday, Walt?
Yeah, well, he the thing is, he looks like Piero when he was 4, not when he was 2. So, yeah, I had a good argument with a very good judge earlier in the week, sort of trying to talk me into saying Straight Charge and Espionage should be shorter than it in the market come slipper time. But he's beaten nothing, all these sorts of things. But, the fashion he's done it, his first start was just effortless. And then I thought he's had everything that could go wrong to a certain degree have gone wrong the last 2 starts. So James McDonald gave him a nice sound out in the trial the other day. Gate 1, like I can only see a horse like Ceron's trying to pressure him. Why would you bother? Yeah, I'd say to be a procession. I can't see anything troubling him, only something strange happening to the horse. $1.26. I sort of went looking wider early in the week, took a big price to place about President. Of course, it draws 9 of 9, and Karen will probably drag it back out of the race like Tommy did. But yeah, it's just pretty straightforward. He'll roll forward. Prost will probably sit outside him. He's a really tough, improving type that'll run a strong race. And then you'll have sort of Parkour, President, Duvana. Duvana is a very interesting horse, whether it's this prep, next prep, or, it needs the mile of the Champagne. And it was the big query runner off its first up run, sort of bottled up on the inside there, what it had left. It was very one-paced in its trial, so it could be easy to overplay that it was sort of going to let down 100% off that run. I think she'll sort of get into her own 1,400 plus. So, yeah, it looks a procession.
Just looking at the golden slipper market at TopSport, Stormboy $2.60, Straight Charge $7.50, Switzerland $7.50, Espionage $8.50. Recapping on last week's race, Straight Charge 1,200 metres, bit of a query compared to horses like Stormboy and Espionage. That was the first thing I sort of thought of.
Nah.
No drama?
No, they're just 3 really good colts. He's far more developed, and it's going to be a great race. It's just going to be a great clash between the 3 of them. I think Straight Charge has got that edge that it's just a bit more bomb-proof at the start, got a bit more speed. Obviously, if it's a fast-run race, if Gay's got 7 in it or something, that may be a good or bad thing, but I definitely think it's a little bit more adaptable. Espionage jumped like a gazelle the other day, so he's shown that he's got that as well. Stormboy is probably the most vulnerable out of the gates. But, yeah, I think they should be sort of like, $3.50, $4, $7, $7, something like that's probably realistic. So the market's not that far wrong. And if Stormboy put 6 on these, it could be into $1.90, $1.80.
I'm hearing Little Birdie told me that, hey, Yasugi might have been crunched 21 into $15. Some boys are just absolutely unloaded on it to win the slipper.
Well, that's confetti.
Confetti. I think Clint was declaring it nearly in the bloody thing race the other day after the race, I believe.
He keeps proving them wrong.
Yeah.
Good to see some of the little guys taking some of those big riches. The next feature here is the Very Elegant Stakes over 1,600 metres, the newly named Group 1, and Fangirl is the favourite here, $1.50, Just Fine $7, Think It Over 9, Buckaroo 10, Lindemann $12, Cascadian $18, Navajo Peak $26, a Tissue $26, and then you got Arapaho and Athabascan rounding out the market here. But let's have a look at Fangirl. Speaking of everything going right, I thought this race fell completely into her hands, and I thought the purple horse, Walt, the place was a good way to play it. I see it's been trimmed up 270 into 240. The place for good old Lindemann.
I saw your notes there, and I was quite keen on it from that sort of perspective in this race. And again, everything that kind of could go wrong did go wrong. You can see him in there. He's the one that's held up, gets no chance for any momentum, and then, very late gets through. Buckaroo's sort of got the outside run there. Buckaroo draws 1 this time. I think Tim learned his lesson there that he'll probably try and keep this horse in clean air. He knows that he's definitely got a bunny there in Just Fine. And then he sort of got, I wish he sort of drew under a little, because he's got the 2 other speed horses in Navajo Peak and Think It Over drawn directly inside him. But even if he drops back in behind them, I agree. I think he's the horse that just looks a different horse. I think he's being undersold since he's been gelded. His trials leading him awesome. And then that run there, I think It Over's sort of reached his mark. Just Fine's an interesting horse, trialled really well, but you would think has to be vulnerable. But you're talking 150 about a horse that's going to be last again. If she rounds him up and beats him, well done. I just, I agree with you that there was no merit in the section she ran to win that race. The obviously argument is she doesn't have to do any more than that to beat these horses again. So, Just Fine's the only new blood. Lindemann was held up, but was never going to beat it. Couldn't beat it with a bat. So, I think maybe you found the right bet in the race. Lindemann, the place, looks the most solid option because, Buckaroo's going to have to overcome inside draw, Just Fine's first up. So, I'd much rather take 6-4 or 7-4 than 2s on Fangirl. I agree with you.
I thought Buckaroo might be sort of looking for 2,000 metres sort of already after that run. My notes were probably back Lindemann next start and then wait for third up 2,000 metres Buckaroo. And knowing Chris Waller, he's that sort of trainer. I can just see that sort of just locked away from Barrow 1 with Tommy Verry just giving it an absolute buy.
What about Cascadian?
He was a terrible ride first up, but he's probably going to be last back with her, isn't he? So
just follows her in, I would have thought, but...
Yeah, he can run a place for sure.
Yeah.
I did see that they were saying better the century, the double this thing. What is it? The double the 2. And I thought I just did a quick calculation. If you have 119,106 on the double and just tick that up, then you can buy a diamond membership with the new kids on the block.
Fascinating. Oh, well, it's not something that I'd be horned up taking $1.50 Fangirl, but it'd be interesting to see which way the market goes. I think, maybe the Matt boys might take it on a bit and you might get a bit better than the $1.50, I would have thought.
Yeah, normally, yes, that's right. The horses are going to be back. I mean, Mr. Brightside's the one you'll be $1.50 because he parks himself in the 1-1, isn't it? Well, better watch than watching something's going to be last, but she's a good talent.
If the rain doesn't arrive, is probably when you'll get a better price. If the rain arrives, you'll probably start $1.30.
All right, so that's the Sydney preview. This round is a cracking race, and I just think that the Sydney card's just got the Melbourne races absolutely cold this weekend. So if you want more of Walt stuff, racingwatch.com.au, you'll get his sheets and all his notes, and you can jump into the chat room there. Fascinating discussion 7 days a week in there, and otherwise you can just get the Telegram service and just get it buzzed to your phone and have no head noise or noise at all, and get all his tips there.
His new girlfriend's in as well. We didn't mention her.
Which one?
Learning to fly.
Oh yeah, in the surround.
We didn't get to talk about it. Yeah, it's it. The draw's like the most fascinating thing there. She probably got the raw end of the stick a little bit, obviously better than last time, but you've got, hang on, I've got to find the race. You've got Tizzy Invincible draw directly under. I wish they were the other way around. And then you've got, hang on, what am I doing here? Looking at the wrong race again. Toodle Avita's got enough speed to kind of get in the way. Tropical Squall goes straight to the front. Autumn Ballet there as well. So, 50-50 chance she finds the one-off line, maybe on the back of Tiz Invincible, and I think she'll probably just win. But then you've got horses sort of drawn outside that may want to press forward. She could end up back where she was last time. So it's an absolute nightmare for someone like me who's desperate to chime into her. But I don't think 350's anything exciting. I can't find anything that's going to jump out of the ground to beat her. So.
Well, I sort of can. I thought was the strangest ride ever on Macarena, or they gave her an absolute buy first up. Timmy, barrier 13, if they decide to change tactics and roll forward, I think Macarena will take a heck of a lot of running down. And Nico, this is vomit-worthy stuff, but the other horse that just went enormous last start was Steffi Magnetica. I know how she got beat at Flemington the day we were on with Power Ballad and things like that, but gosh, this horse is in a rich vein of form, and barrier 1, not sure. She'd probably be in an awkward spot, but absolutely flying, that horse.
Yeah, it's going to be far back fence or something, so it's going to need the same luck. But it's if you're looking for a roughy sort of 1x5 or something like that, Steffi's probably airborne. But I think they're going to catch up to it a little bit too. She had the fitness edge there. She is proper airborne. She's got a proper turn of foot, but she's going to be buried. So, I think she's up against it. Macarena is coming out of that same race with Cabalas, and I heard the same rumours about her. Her breathing's not great. Obviously, nothing in her form suggests that, because she tries as hard as any horse you've ever seen. But yeah, if she somehow got across an outside Tropical Squall and they control it, yeah, for sure, it's the new blood. What price is it? It's $850. Yeah, that seems fair enough.
Yep. All right, there's the Sydney preview, but head to racingwatch.com.au if you want more of Walt's action there. Eagle Farm, we're going to go to Eagle Farm with Donnie for Donnie's best. Don't have video with all the hoo-ha of the stream yesterday. Ships in the night here, but Eagle Farm race 7, number 20 is Deferential. D. Thornton from the J.W. Healy yard. I think it's been sort of $8 into 6. And Donnie can find an over, so haven't got to that race yet. And just looking at the field, I do remember Magnus Bellagio was a good run, but this horse has got 53.5 kilos against that, so it'll warrant a closer look. But knowing Donnie, if it's $8 and $6 on Wednesday, Thursday, it's likely to run around at sort of closer to $5 or in the $4 range. So maybe one to jump on early at TopSport. So Eagle Farm race 7, number 20 is Donnie's best. As I said, TopSport Steamers last week, Mr. Brightside, 20K at the $1.50 was beautiful business. And this week, we've got race 8, number 1, and that is My Khalifa. So it's $5.25 at $4.80. So that's also the race that He's Our Bonneville's been nominated in. So I'd suggest, based off what Nico's saying, he might be scratched there, so might not be much chop in betting early into that one. But you got Lee Ferrari, Tap In for Par Pagasi, Exalted Fire. Looks a winnable race there, but as I said, haven't done it in full depth. But I do take note of a couple of comments that Michael Hickmott said over the last couple of weeks, and his stable had a virus for a couple of months, and now they've sort of gotten on top of that. So I noticed he's got 2 runners in there. And I'd just be a bit wary with Michael Hickmott runners coming over the next couple of weeks. I think his stable might turn itself around, but My Khalifa could be the way to go there, according to the TopSport team. The second bet here is Eagle Farm race 6, number 10, Petersham, $500 at $6. Again, haven't got to that one yet. The next one's an interesting one.
Got more head noise than me, Petersham.
Well, speaking of head noise, I think this horse has got plenty of head noise too. Flemington race 6, number 6, another will, to 2,800 at 175. Is this the horse that carries on pre-race?
Yep. Like a lot of my horses nowadays. So there's been a few recently that get up and about before the race. Jimmy Star and Estriella, but hard to see him getting beat off the way he won last start. Looks a proper horse.
Nice big spaces. He's up against Magnus Spin, CS7, Zamborghini, horses like Fist of Fury, Astronos, and Piaggio. And the next bet here is Randwick race 1, number 14, Mad Darcy, $300 at $8. One for you up there, Walty.
Yeah, big field. Last start was certainly not suited by the sort of pace-ish nature. It should certainly get its chance here. I haven't had a super hard look. I try and sort of tackle these races last because you get mass scratchings and a lot of strange sort of things happen. But horses airborne, stables airborne, drawn middle of the line, everything you'd want to see from this horse. So I'm certainly not knocking it.
David Fife camps. It's been 8 into $6.50. All right, that's the Steamers. DK, you're off the freshen. And I did see your horse, Limburg, went no good luck.
Go. Self-imposed suspension for falling to Fonk at the short there. What a count. Like, it just had to tip of it. It was just icky, bit icky. And that's how it turns out. Get beaten a short half head or something.
Sick watch.
One pace slug of a thing. Fucking dog. Anyway. No, I've got no races, Scoot. I've got no races.
What's happened?
Well, there's nothing, no maidens tomorrow night. There's no day meeting tomorrow. There's only Pakenham tonight's got the finals and everything on. There's one maiden with a 2s on chance and another one with 7 or 4 2 shorties. Elmarich and Voracious have both got good hopes in that race. It's sort of hard to go one way or the other. So, I've got. Sorry, mate, I've got nothing for you.
Group 1 DK zip away each way.
Well, zip away, yeah. Well, yeah. I'd be more confident if it was over further because it's got a bit more stamina than those horses who might be gasping at the end of the month. But I think it'll run well. But just might need one more. But no. Even the acceptances are not out for the weekend or anything yet. So apologies there. But I've got just have to wait for another week
on the back foot there. But action pack, Pakenham. Yeah, Pakenham's got a
Pakenham. Barbie's dollar thought it'd be hard to beat in that final. she's crying out for the 1400, which he's got 3 runners. He's dominated at Jerome Hunter. She ran behind Diamond Decorator on that Mad Leaders track, got too far back. I thought she wanted 1400 there. The way she got through the line, she gets the 1400 D lane. She probably might have a bit more upside than the others. So that'd be my top pick in the. But they're hard to win those finals, a finals race. But and she's 460 or something. So maybe if I'd twist my arm twisted, I'd be tipping her. Scoot Barbie's Doll.
Race 7, number 9. Barbie's Doll.
I thought if there was one at the Valley, I had a quick look at the Valley. Mancier, I didn't look at. I can't remember what race he was in. I think race 4 or 5. He is double accepted in the English sprint, but if he heads to the Valley, he should be hard to beat there.
And Ryan
off the Archo Nacho form last campaign, just didn't have much luck first up, and should be an improver.
Okay, all right. I think that's a wrap from us down here. And any final thoughts, Walt? Strap yourself in for a big weekend.
Strap myself in. I was only stirring with that double thing before. I hope this AI Wolf Den thing works out for him. I haven't had a look at it, but it sounds very interesting. You know, that's sort of the way the world's going, the AI thing. I struggle enough to sort of deal with the AI going on in my own head, but hope it's something different that is an improvement to the landscape.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? Challenging landscape at the moment. You got another little kick stream this weekend. Well, are you doing the doubleheader Friday? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I probably will. Friday, Saturday. I love listening to my own voice, so I'll sit here and mumble into the cosmos. And if anyone wants to tune in, they can.
Cracking card at Randwick on Saturday. So, a plethora of racing over the next couple of days. So make sure you bet patiently and responsibly. And that is a wrap from us. So good to see you boys back here in Melbourne.
Good to catch up, Scooty. Good to see you down here.
Outstanding. Good to be here. And we'll be back for more Bet Doctor next Thursday. So good luck on the punt, and hopefully we've steered you into a couple of winners. See you guys.